for all their variables in speed, setting, and type, racing games, as a genre, tend to pretty much boil down to the same thing. Hustling through a fixed route, trying to do it faster and more efficiently than your officially registered opponents. The Tokyo XTREME RACER series, conversely, innovated a more novel approach. Set on Japan's Shuto Expressway, and more specifically Route B, the Bayshore route, the Wangan Highway, made famous by the popular 1990 street racing manga Wangan Midnight. These games have a more open-ended structure, organized as a series of one-on-one short-term battles without a set track, just as much stretch of highway as it takes to win. The first game in the series, 1994's Shutoku Battle 94, was subtitled Drift King, in tribute to famed race car driver Kaiichi Tsuchiya, two-time winner of the 24 Hours of Le Mans, who is credited with popularizing drifting as a legitimate racing art form, and utilizing drifting in racing events that didn't even call for it. Early in his legitimate racing career, he was also heavily active in the illegal street racing scene, and his knowledge and expertise in that field has subsequently led to him being a consultant for all sorts of street racing media, including being the direct inspiration for the protagonist of the iconic manga and anime Initial D, and doing active stunt work for The Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift. The first two games in the series, Shutoku Battle 94, as well as its sequel, released in the Western world as Tokyo Highway Battle, both at least gestured towards traditional racing games. They were free-form, but still arranged in a multi-lap design. The third game, the Dreamcast exclusive launch title Tokyo XTREME RACER, did away with that framework and aimed for a more truly customizable, open-ended world. The other big alteration XTREME RACER makes is in its aesthetic. Shutoku Battle and Highway Battle have race times all throughout the day, from dawn to dusk. But XTREME RACER is set at a permanent midnight, an eternal blackness that gives it a moody, enveloping charge. Tokyo XTREME RACER starts you off in media res, literally already rolling down the road. But from here, every decision is yours. You drive the highways until you find prospective opponents, and the game puts the decision in your hands who, when, and where you want to battle. If you see a car you want to challenge, you flash your lights, and it's on. Both of you receiving a fighting game-esque power meter that depletes for whoever is in second place. There are a wealth of colorfully named racers and teams of varying skill levels that you can come across. And because the choices are yours, there's no system that builds from low to high. Sometimes you'll end up with the White Witch and get left eating dust. And sometimes you'll get Rolling Dude number 4 and be able to cruise to an easy victory. Technically, because you personally enact all race battles, you don't actually have to pick anybody and can just glide along on nighttime vibes for as long as you want. This game was one of the few Dreamcast games I actually played on initial release, and that sandboxy sense of being able to do as much or as little as you wanted was the absolute magic of the game for me. And when I discovered a sequel had come out on a system I actually owned, I snapped it up just as quickly. The loose procedural build felt so novel to me, and the tone was so cool and potent that I couldn't help but want to stay on the roads as long as I could. So I was shocked to find out that Tokyo XTREME RACER wasn't very well regarded critically, but the period reviews I read seemed nitpicky, bordering on malicious. Complaints about being too repetitious. It's a racing game. All racing games are repetitious, and this one has an almost RPG-style grind system. And having unrealistic physics. Its crash bounces are no more egregious than the critically untainted Gran Turismo series. I'm not sure if there was some sort of cultural pushback, or if this was just too unique for most 1999 gamers' expectations, but this middling general consensus confuses me. The closest I could see to a valid complaint is that the highway roads can feel a little too samey sometimes, and I wouldn't have been angry about some diversification of setting or visuals. But even then, battling different opponents is such an intense experience that I barely see the backgrounds at all when I'm in that zone. I found Tokyo Extreme Racer to be hypnotic and addicting and rad as hell in 1999. And I find Tokyo Extreme Racer hypnotic and addicting and rad as hell in 2022. Among my Dreamcast collection, it's a game I put on casually and come back to often, because I can play it a little, or I can play it a lot. And no matter how much time I have, Tokyo Extreme Racer will always have something worthwhile to give me. Next time, y'all ready to have a chill time compromising America's enemies to a permanent end?